Good morning, class. Last time we have completed the second part of CNS, that is anti-Parkinsonian drugs. This Parkinsonian disease was due to the deficiency of dopamine. Hence, we are giving the drugs which are useful to increase the amount of dopamine in the CNS, or we are giving the drugs which can decrease the concentration of acetylcholine. So, we are giving the anticholinergic drugs. Okay, now we are moving to the next part of the CNS drugs, that is anticonvulsant drugs. They are also called as anti-seizure drugs or anti-epileptic drugs. Okay, so first of all we should know what is epilepsy. Okay, so it is a chronic medical condition. Why epilepsies happen? It is due to the sudden changes in the electrical function or the nerve impulses in the brain. Okay, for example, nerve impulses, they are transferred from one nerve to second, then third, then fourth, and it reaches to the brain. So they are having some specific time in which they can reach to the brain. Suppose, for example, if they are taking 5 seconds to reach to the brain. Now, in the case of epilepsy or the convulsion seizure, what happens? Instead of 5 seconds, they are taking the 1 or 2 seconds to reach to the brain. So, multiple impulses can be transferred to the brain within a short period of time. So, that is sudden changes in electrical function. It results into the epilepsy. And this epilepsy is characterized by episodes of seizures. So, epilepsy is characterized by seizures. Okay. Then what is seizure and what is convergence? Okay. So, the seizure is the abnormal discharge at high frequency. And what is convergence? Due to that discharge or high frequency, there is involuntary, jerky, violent movement or the spasmodic movement of the skeletal muscle. It will result into the convergence. Okay. So, seizure, epilepsy, convulsion, they are nearly the same, but the small difference is present between them. Okay, so epilepsy is characterized by seizure. What is seizure? Seizure means the discharge of high frequency impulses from one cell to another cell and to the brain. Okay, so while convulsion means the involuntary, or you can say violent spasmodic movements of the skeletal muscles. Then our topic or our chapter is anti-convulsion drugs. So what is anti-convulsion drugs? So anticonvulsants, they are also called as antiepileptic drugs or anti-seizure drugs. Then why these seizures, so you can see epilepsy or convulsion takes place? So there is etiology for this to takes place. So the first one, that is any congenital defect, or if any trauma to the head, any head injury, if it will takes place. Second one, if there is infection like meningitis, viral encephalitis, brain abscesses. So cyclically, like this, if any infection or viral infection takes place, then it will also result into the increase the frequency of discharge of the impulses. Concussion, depressed skull, fracture, if cancer is there, that is a tumor, brain tumor is there. Sometimes it will result due to the withdrawal of some drugs. Okay, so if we withdraw the CNS depression drug, then also it will result into this one. Sometimes in children, fever, high fever असेल, if it reaches to the brain, it will result into the such things. Then hypoglycemia or photoepilepsy. So these are the some etiology due to which the epilepsy or convulsion takes place. Generally, the head injury, trauma, or the congenital, or any fracture, any viral infections. If you are withdrawing any drug, so if one is taking the same depression drug for the long time, when it will withdraw, then it will result into the such kind of conditions. Next part is the what are the different types of seizures. Okay, so there are generally two types of seizure. One is the generalized seizure, second one is the partial seizure. So generalized seizure is also called as the primary seizure. So this seizure or this condition, that is the partial, it takes place in the one part of brain, while in the generalized, general means anywhere. So in generalized seizure, this condition takes place in any part of the brain or most of part of the brain. So that is the difference between the focal and this one. Okay. So in case of partial or focal, at a certain part of the brain, such condition takes place, or